Hi, I'm Bennett, the fourth Musketeer, and today I'm joined by the Lorcana Limited Legend and the nerdiest corner of the internet. It's Knife's Nerd Corner.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing today?
Today we are having a review of the full set for Lorcana Chapter 2, Rise of the Floodborns, and we do the review for draft mode specifically. So I'm really glad that Knife's here because he, as I said in the introduction, is the limited expertise. Expert.
I may have done a draft or two.
Let's just jump right into the review with the first card.
Okay, so Bashful is a 4-cost, 2/5. He is one of the 7 dwarves, and he does have 3 lore, which is a lot for his cost. Unfortunately, you need to have another one of the 7 dwarves in order for him to quest. And unfortunately, it's going to be pretty inconsistent on how many 7 dwarves you can get. So most of the time, he's just going to be a 2/5 with effectively 0 lore. And that's a really bad card. And so he's kind of in that middle of like, if you have dwarves, he's like a 4. If you don't have dwarves, he's a 1.
Yeah, I would settle at maximum 2, 1 to 2, maybe 1.5, because as you said, it's really inconsistent. And I compared to Pumbaa in the first set, which were okay, but the 2 attack in comparison to the 3 is just not that good to have a good trade with him. Christopher Robin is a 2/6 for 6 ink with 2 lore. Whenever you ready the character, if you have 2 or more other characters in play, gain 2 lore. I wouldn't value him too high because he can't really trade effectively if you're trying to be very aggressive and to gain lore as fast as possible. He can put in some work, but you need to have 2 other characters. So I value him at 2 stars.
I think I put him up at 3 based on what I've seen. You're going to be able to let your character stay out a little bit longer. There's a lot of high willpower characters in this set compared to the first chapter. So I think his ability is going to trigger more often than we think.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I'd say I put him at a 3.
I can totally see that. Yes.
Card number 3, Cinderella, Ballroom Sensation, a 1/2 cost for 1 with 1 lore, but the kicker is Singer 3. So half the cards in this, half of the songs in the set cost 3 or less. So she can sing half the songs in the set. Most of the songs you don't necessarily want to sing that early. So she's kind of in that middle ground. I'd put her at a 3 as well. Not insane, but I don't know, not a bad mid-pack pick.
You can put her out on 1. You don't need to quest if she's in danger of getting removed. And if you have a song, you can sing with her. It's a really great value. So I agree with you on the 3 stars. Move on to the Cobra Bubbles. For 7 ink, you get a 5/9 with 2 lore. You can compare him to Triton. For set 1, I didn't usually get to 7 ink. I think I maxed out at 6. We do see a few RAM cards in the set, which would give you this 1 extra ink you maybe need to play him. So he has good stats. If you get him out, he's really great, but he's maximum a 2 for me because I think it's really hard to get him out consistently.
Yeah, I think 2's a good spot. He's definitely the least powerful of the 7 drops in the set. If you look at the other 7 drops, he's just kind of the lowest one there. So yeah, I'd give him a 2. He's not unplayable because with a lot of mechanics in the set that like to heal and like to have a lot of damage on your characters, you can do some stuff with that 9 willpower. But yeah, 7. Once you get to that 7+ tier, you need something that will win you the game, and Cobra's not going to win you the game. All right, card number 5, Doc, leader of the 7 dwarves. He's a 7 dwarf. 3 cost, 2/3 with 2 lore. And whenever he quests, you may pay 1 ink less for the next character you play this turn. So like you mentioned, there's a little bit of ramp here. So, unlike the other seven dwarves, he doesn't need any of them to be effective. And so I would put him as a 3 as well. You can put him down turn 3, and then he can quest and let you play a 5-drop next turn, which could be valuable as you just get that little advantage, effectively giving you that extra ink. And a 2/3 body is average for this set, so I'd give him a 3.
Yeah, I put him on 3 as well, in case you maybe are missing one ink and he's there on, for example, turn 5, and you can't play your 6-drop because you're missing the one ink. He's a good way to give you the little boost you need. So perfectly good on 3. I totally agree with you. I continue with Dopey, always playful. For 3 ink, you get a 2/2 with the effect when this character is banished, your other 7 dwarfs characters get +2 attack until the start of next turn. While the start until the start of next turn is a good thing, I don't think he's consistent enough to be above 1 star, because you need another 7 of the 7 dwarfs in your deck to get the value off, and for 3 ink, just a 2/2 with 1 law is not good enough.
Yeah, I agree. He'd be a 1-star on his own, a 3-star if you can somehow get the deck to work. Eudora, Accomplished Seamstress, is 5 cost, 1/9 with 2 lore, just a vanilla character. Basically a Cobra Bubbles that doesn't deal damage, as much damage. So I kind of go back to Cobra Bubbles where it's 1 or 2. Does have a lot of damage counters that it can soak up, but other than that, I would say a little bit better than Cobra Bubbles because of the affordability, but
She quests for 2 in some scenarios. She will most likely quest 2 turns in a row if you're equal on board. So that's 4 law in 2 turns, which is not that bad, but maximum 2 for me as well. You can, there are a few cards that buff attack, and if you get one good trade of her and can quest the next 2 rounds or just 1 round, it's a good trade-off. But I think 2 stars is a fair rating for her. Now we have Gaston, Baritone Bully. For 3 ink, you get a 3/3 for 1 law, which is a pretty average score line. He trades well with 2 3s. That's an upside. Also, the Singer 5 can come in clutch, even though I'm not completely sure about the song targets you have in this draft rotation. So I'm seeing him as a 3-star. Do you have a song in mind that he really benefits off?
So the songs in this set aren't as strong as the first chapter. There aren't anything along the lines of A Whole New World or Be Prepared. The most expensive song is 4 ink.
Oh yeah.
And so Gaston can sing every card in the set, every song in the set. My favorite songs in the set for limited is Forges and Eggs, the one that grants resist, and Gaston's able to sing that above curve. So, I don't know. I'd put him probably down to 2.5, 3. Probably the last uncommon I'm grabbing, but he's not terrible. I wouldn't be upset with him in my deck. All right, 2 cost, 2/2, the Grand Duke, Advisor to the King. 2 cost, 2/2, 1 lore. Your princess, king, and queen characters get an additional strength. So I actually haven't looked too much into this character and how well he is. So I probably put him at a 2. His body is below. His body is below par for his cost, and I think you would need to get 2 or 3 royalty characters to kind of get that value out. So I'd say a 2. I don't like him as a rare.
Yeah, I agree with you. Put him at 2 stars. I can think of a few good case scenarios, or actually perfect case scenarios. For example, the Resist Prince Philip, I think it is. which can come in really clutch with the extra 1 attack. But besides that, he's really average, so 2 for me as well. So let's continue with Grumpy. Bad Tempered. For 4 ink, you get a 3/4 with the effect your other 7 dwarfs characters get +1 attack for 1 lore. So this is basically the same as we had for Dopey, where you need the other dwarfs to get value off of him. His stat line is really not good. For 4 ink, 3/4 is I mean, you have a potential few trades in the 1, 2, 3 ink cost range. A lot of characters there have 2 to 3 willpower with a maximum of 3 attacks, so you could have a few good trades, but I will put him maximum at 2. I don't think he's the one because you could benefit off of him, and the dwarfs are, I think, all common and uncommon, so you end up with 3 dwarfs in on average, I think. Yeah, what do you think about him?
So I actually like his body. I like the 3/4. I wish he was 3 cost instead of 4.
Yeah.
That kind of what brings it down to 2 stars for me. But even if he was just vanilla, I kind of just see his little 7 dwarf synergy as just a little bit of icing.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2.5 stars. Just like, again, I wouldn't be upset with him in my deck. He would probably be like my 37th card.
Yeah.
Unlike Happy. I like Happy. Happy is a 5 cost, 3/5 with 2 lore and support. Support is so good in limited because there's a lot less direct removal, even more so in Rise of the Floodborn. And so being able to grant one of your characters 3 extra strength while still continuing your process is really good. Happy is my favorite of the 7th dwarves. He works well on his own. And if you get a few dwarves, yeah, that's good, but he's just really good on himself. I'm going to give him not quite a 4, but really close, like a 3.5.
I totally agree. The funny thing is, if you get the dwarf synergy somehow and he gets buffed by the other dwarfs, he even gives more attack if he quests with his support ability. And I like him too because you get the 2 quest off. If you have a support character you want to quest with the body, for example Merlin in set 1, I didn't really like because he just got to 1 lore. But yeah, support is really good, and I'm going with you on the 3.5 stars. We have another big boy, or big ape rather. We have King Louis.
Will it do?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, all good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna sing the song every time I'm playing it. But the question is, can I play him? Because he also is at 7 ink, an ink number you probably won't hit on average. If you have ramp in your deck, he is a good inclusion in my opinion, because you can effectively trade with him and let him stay on board, and if you don't want to trade with him, he still gives you 2 lore. So I think if you have to, so it's a condition. So normally it's a 2 for me because it's inkable. If you can't play him, you just ink him. But I think I'm going up to 3 because this effect can be really good in trading situations.
Yeah, I'm actually going to give him a 4 here.
Okay.
So yes, he's expensive, but he is a 3/8, and if you look and see a lot of commons and uncommons, they have a 3 willpower, and so if anyone wants to swing into him, they're typically giving up that character, and King Louis effectively has resist 2 in that situation. And so if you kind of think of it that way, where he kind of has like a conditional resist 2, that makes him a lot better in my mind. Plus, you can kind of swing into other characters with your own challengers. He can slot right into the challenger decks with Shere Khan and Queen of Hearts. And I can see multiple board states where he's sitting there and your opponent can't really do anything to him.
Yeah, I think for Cobra Bubbles, you said if you play something with 7, you want a card that wins you the game, and I totally agree that this is a card that can single-handedly win you the game or a specific board situation. Yeah, so I fully agree on the 4 stars. Our first 4-star in this review. So let's continue and see if Mickey Mouse friendly face will get 4 stars too. I don't think so. He costs 6 and only have the battle stats of 1 attack and 6 willpower, which is really bad. He has a neat effect, I think, for constructed if you build a deck around him, but on 6 ink, you usually don't need the 3 less reduction for your next character because your hand isn't that full anyway at this time of the game. And I'm seeing him as a 1-star. I really can't think of a higher usage for him.
Yeah, I agree. I kind of put him in the same vein as Moana from the last set, where yeah, 3 lore is great, and if you desperately need a 3 lore character to kind of just get that last little bit, then yeah, put in Mickey. But treat him as if he's a vanilla.
Yeah.
Really. So 1.5, 2 stars. He does have some utility to finish off the game. If you're at 17 lore and you plop down Mickey,
yeah,
that's better than putting down most other characters. Mufasa, Betrayed Leader. 5 cost, 3/3 with 2 lore. With the sun will set. When this character is banished, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a character, you may play that character for free, and they interplay Exerted. Otherwise, put it on top of your deck. So I like this. Most limited decks, you are mostly playing characters. So Mufasa is probably going to replace himself with another character most of the time. It might not be the best character, but the fact that he replaces himself should he get taken out is pretty good. And if he happens to hit King Louis or something, then that's just insane value. So I'm gonna give him a 4. He's not that kind of like beat him immediately, but with 2 lore, you're gonna have to take care of him eventually. And when you do take care of him, he's going to maybe punish you for doing that. And so that kind of on top, just kind of that little bit of value is what Limited's all about.
Yeah, he has a crazy high roll potential, as you said. If you have higher drops in your deck and you end up having this card for free, it's really good. So at 4, I think it's fair. It's not quite a 5 because it's not consistent. Even his average, if you think of a 2 to 3 drop on average, you get that would give him the stats he needs to be a real 5 cost. You also have to keep in mind that he has to die for it, so your opponent has to kill it, or you have to run into something from your opponent, and he can be played around and you can low roll. So I think it's fair at 4 because he has this crazy high roll potential. Mulan Free Spirit is the next card. For 3 ink, you get a 2/3 support card with 2 lore. I'm not quite sure if 2 attack supports really do something, especially on 3 ink. She just gets removed the turn after she quests to give her support. I see her as a 2 maximum because support is a great mechanic in Limited and can give you a great trade, but nothing more to say about her, I think.
Yeah, I agree. Mulan Reflecting is a 4 cost, 3/3, our first Floodborn. 2 lore, shift 2, honor to the ancestors. Whenever this character quests, you may reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a song card, you may play it for free. Otherwise, put it on top of your deck. She's a 1 for me.
Yeah.
I don't think she's good in this deck. A lot of songs in this format, you don't want to play randomly. A lot of the songs in this set, you want to have a little bit of a timing with it. And so And that's if you even hit a song.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you're not going to hit a song. And so I think if she was in the first set, she might have been a lot better. But with this set, she's a 1 for me.
You can compare it to Aria's Spectacular Singer when it comes to the consistency of the card, which was a 1 for me in set 1 as well. Maybe even better compared to Mulan, because you just get this one card you reveal from your deck. So yeah, totally agree. It's just a 1 star for me. And we continue with Nana. Darling Family Pet. For 2 ink, you get a 1/3. Whenever you play a Floodborn character, you may remove all damage from chosen character for quests for 1 law. The effect to fully heal a character is really good in Limited, but I think the condition is too hard to hit. You need to have a character which is which is down enough to get a really great value out of the effect, and you also need a Floodborn character, which in Rise of the Floodborn is more likely than in the first set, but I think she's just a 1 because 1/3 is not a good stat line.
Yeah, especially for 2 ink, it's not that good. And I hate to, I love Nana so much, but
she's looking really sad too. I think she's hearing us right now.
Yeah, well, she's got the sugar cubes. I think she's just like on a sugar crash or something. But yeah, she's a 1 for me. Piglet, 3 cost, 2/4, 2 lore. Pretty straightforward. Piglet's a 2. I think Piglet's a filler for me. 2 lore for 3 cost isn't bad at all, and that 4th willpower kind of bumps it up a little bit in terms of resiliency. So I'd put Piglet at a 2.
I totally agree. Would even add half a star to it, because if you're going first and you have an aggressive deck where you want to really get fast to 20 law, and your opponent can't remove her, and she gives you 4 law for 3 ink, that's good. So yeah, great vanilla. Totally agree. And we continue with Rapunzel, Gifted Artist, another Floodborn character, 5 ink, 0/6, our first 0 attack in the game. Shift 3, and has the effect whenever you remove 1 or more damage from one of your characters, you may draw a card for 2 law. Yeah, I don't think she's good. She's really conditional. You could argue that there are a lot of cards in the set that can heal, but you would then just play her for the draw, and I think on average, even if you have a lot of heal in your deck, you will just get 1 card off it. You can just let her on the board, not questing with her, so your opponent can't remove it, but it's still a 5 cost investment. So I think I'm at 1.5 stars because she can draw you cards, which is good in Limited.
Yeah. Ooh. So this is where we have a big disagreement. I have her at like 3.5.
Oh, okay.
So the reason that I have her that high is, for one, as we're going to see with the next card, there is a way for her to come out on turn 3. You are able to shift her. Also, drawing cards is just that valuable and limited. A 0/6 is going to be able to survive most challenges, as we've established. 2 lore, you can have her kind of sit back as what I've been calling as like a utility character, which is a character that you don't really quest with until the final victory quest. But she does so much for you while she's sitting around. There's just a bunch of damage counters lying around in this set, a bunch of healing in this set. I can easily see you putting her down turn 5, and then the next turn doing some challenges, putting down Gumbo Pot, which then heals 2 separate characters, which means she draws 2 cards off that. And that alone has just replaced her and made that value. So 3.5 stars for me.
Okay, yeah, I can totally see it, especially if you get her out on 3, so you don't need to wait till turn 5 and give up a whole important turn there. You can have her out earlier. Yeah, I totally see your rating. we continue with the next Rapunzel, a Sunshine, the character you want to quest onto. For 2 ink, you get a 1/4 with 1 lore, and if you tap her, or if you exert her, you remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. You can directly compare her to Tamatoa, the 2 ink 1/4 Emerald drop from set 1, which I didn't pick because I don't like 1 attack, but in this scenario I think she can provide a lot more than the Tamatoa. You can be very flexible with her. She, most of the time if you play her on 2, can do 1 action, either the exert effect or questing, or maybe just putting the 1 damage out. So I'm seeing her at 2.5 stars actually.
I agree. She can be a shift target to the Flyborn Rapunzel that we have, so that kind of brings her up a bit. And also, having the ability to heal other characters instead of going for that 1 more, that little extra decision makes her that much better than Tamatoa from the last set. And so, yeah, I agree. 2 stars, 2.5 stars. If you get, what I really like is that both of these Rapunzels, Rapunzel Sunshine is common and the Shift Rapunzel is uncommon. So it won't be difficult to get these 2 cards together. Next up, we have Sleepy nodding off. Back to the dwarfs. He is a 2/3 for 2 lore with 2 ink, and he enters play exerted. So if you're on the play, I really like him. I do like him on the draw as well. He's just a lore battery. You just put him down and you just keep questing with him, and goes very well into the aggro deck. His body is going to be average for the set, and so he'll be able to survive a couple hits, but I don't think that interplay exerted is that big of a downside. I'll give him 3 stars.
Yeah, I totally agree. Nothing to add there. I like Sleepy too. Now we have Sneezy, very allergic. For 2 ink, you get a 1/4 with 1 lore, and the effect: whenever you play this character or another 7 dwarfs character, you may give chosen character -1 attack this turn. We have the same stat line as Rapunzel and Tamatoa. We talked about it. I would definitely put him 1 star lower than Rapunzel, which is then 2. Because let me re-evaluate. I think it's actually maximum a 1.5, because I don't like the 1 attack on him. If you end up with a few dwarfs, he can give you a niche battle trick you can use to get ahead on board, but that's not very consistent. So actually I'm just at 1.5 stars for him.
Yeah, I'm going to take him down to a 1. A lot of characters in this set have low strength already, and so just kind of decreasing it from 2 to 1 for a one-time thing isn't going to be it could be a big deal in the long run, but it's not going to be that big often, so 1.
Yeah.
Snow White, Lost in the Forest, 2 cost 2/3 for 1 lore. When she enters play, you can heal a character for 2. Nice, straightforward, can trigger some of your other cards. 2 stars.
Totally agree. Compared to, we had 2/3 vanillas in set 1, and with her you get a nice effect to use, to have a bit of a trade or a benefit of a good trade you just took. Then you can snowball with it, so 2 stars is really fair. Snow White, unexpected house guest, 2 ink uninkable. Is this our first uninkable in all of the cards we reviewed? Because I think
yes, Amber is very inkable.
Yeah, Amber is inkable. That's a nice quote there. Yeah, for 2 ink you get 1/2. You pay 1 less to play the 7 dwarfs character for 1 lore. This will be a card if you happen to take or if you end up with a lot of dwarfs in your deck, and in the last pack at the table this is in the pack. You can take her to have a snowbally early game if you high roll the hand. As we know, Mulligan in Lorcana is really good. So
yeah, it's very forgiving.
Yeah. So I'm putting her at 1.5 because she has the potential to do something, but usually she is just a 2 for 1/2 and even uninkable, which is really, really bad. So it's a 1.5 for me.
Yeah, I agree. This Snow White though, Snow White, Well-Wisher, 6 cost, uninkable, 3/5 for 2 lore, shift 4 though. Whenever this character quests, you may return a character card from your discard to your hand. This card is going to make me want to grab both of the previous Snow Whites. This is a 5 for me. Just that pure consistency and that resiliency. You're playing the game, you're trading with your opponent, you're fully aware that you're going to get those characters back, and just having that knowledge and that resiliency is going to make you play better in limited for matchups. It's like in the first chapter, if you had a Be Prepared in your deck, you know that you have a board wipe, so you can play around your own board wipe, or you can play around knowing that you have this coming. And the fact that it can come in as a surprise and quick quest, grab something back, is so good. And honestly, this kind of, if you grab this early on, it makes me want to grab a lot of Snow Whites, which not other people are going to get.
Yeah, we get.
So you're going to be able, to get your shift targets for this. So it's a 5 for me.
I can just agree on that. For example, if you have a 1 or 2 drop in your discard, you might don't even want to play the card you're getting back to hand, but you can ink the card you're getting back to hand and don't need to ink 4 or 5 cost you have in hand and can play the card instead later on. So yeah, totally 5-star for me as well. Especially as you said, the other Snow Whites aren't that good, so aren't that often picked. Yeah. I agree. And for me, I think we are hitting another 5 stars. I'm giving the spoiler here. It's one of the cards I'm most excited for and kind of scared if my opponent has it. For 5 ink, you get a 4/3 to lore with the effect when this character quest, chosen opposing character gets -4 attack this turn and chosen character gets +4 this turn. So the effect alone, in my opinion, for 5 is a reason to give her a 5 stars, because you can manipulate 2 trades happening. It's not just one battle trick. You can distribute it onto 2 trades. For example, have 2 3 drops that battle, yours come out alive because the opposing character has minus attack, and you can use a cheap character to banish a higher cost character from your opponent because you give this character +4 attack. Then you also have the shift 2, which is crazy. We do have a queen for 1 in the set, so yeah, you can directly quest and use the effect. In this scenario, for me, it's a 5-star.
Yeah, I agree. And it's kind of in the situation as Snow White, where the other queen cards in the set aren't that great until they become shift targets, in which case you want to grab them. And that's kind of where you want to be, is whenever you're drafting, you want to be in a situation where you are grabbing cards that are good for you that other people don't want for themselves. And once you get into that spot, you're really cooking and you're really building a good deck. The queen helps with that. If you first pick her, you can really build a good challenging themed deck around her, including grabbing some of the next card, the Queen Regal Monarch, which is just a flounder. 1 cost, 2/2/1. 2 stars by herself. It's fine. She's ink. She's an early quester. She's fine. But you add the other queen in there, it becomes really good.
Yeah, totally agree. So I think it's what do you would give you what would you give her? So sorry.
I'd give Commanding Presence Queen, the Floodborn to 5.
Yeah.
And then the normal one, the Regal Monarch, 1 cost, 2.
Perfect. Yeah.
She's a filler.
Totally
Yeah.
agree. And now we hit the first action card in our review. It's Hold Still for 2. Ink, you get the effect, remove up to 4 damage from chosen character. I can make this very quick. For me, it's a 1, actually a 0, a card I would never pick. You go card advantage -1. There might be situations where you benefit of the healing, like with the Rapunzel card, but in general, this is just a bad card.
There's a lot better healing cards in this set. I would say if you're going super hard into the healing deck, you might grab this, but otherwise, yeah, it's a 0.
Yeah.
Last Stand, 2 cost, uninkable action. Banish chosen character who is challenged this turn. See, this is one of the very few premium removals in the set. There isn't anything like Dragonfire, which just goes, that's gone. You have to do a little bit of work for your removal in this set. Last Stand is the easiest one. You just challenge that and challenge it with one of my high willpower characters. Fine, it's whatever. My character stays alive. Yours is gone now. 3.5 stars.
Totally agree. You can even use a 1 drop to banish a 7 or a 6 drop. This card stays in your hand because it's uninkable, so you have it in later turns. I agree with the rating. Painting the Roses Red, I think our first song for 2 ink. You can sing or use it for 2 ink. Up to 2 chosen characters get -1 this turn, draw a card. So that's really interesting. A lot of action or song cards in this set have this, draw a card. Usually if you just have the effect of -1/-1, this card wouldn't be good because you go card advantage -1. In limited, it's very vulnerable. Your hand is very vulnerable because there isn't a lot of draw. This card basically replaces itself and can be played for free. So I'm seeing it as a 2, maybe 2.5. The -1 isn't that important, so it's not that great. But I think I would settle at 2 stars for this card.
Yeah, 2.5 stars. Ignore the decreased strength part whenever you're analyzing. It's either you can spend 2 ink or exert a 2 cost character to draw a card.
Yeah.
You have some characters in the set that like to see some actions being played. You can put it in that deck.
Yeah,
there's better cards for that deck, but World's Greatest Criminal Mind is another song. 3 cost, inkable. Banish chosen character with 5 or more strength. This is a 0 for me.
Oh.
So with the caveat of if you are able to sideboard, then I would put it in the sideboard as a good sideboard piece. There's only 17 cards in the set that can get banished by this character, or by this card. There's only 17 out of the 204. And a lot of them are super rares and legendaries. So you're not going to be able to play this card much. Yes, it's inkable, but you want your cards to do something most of the time. And so I would put this as a 0, caveat, sideboard.
That's a cool analysis because usually this effect in a limited would be really, really good to have a inkable removal for free even, but with the knowledge and about the set in general, this card gets way worse. So really interesting to hear that. I'm just gonna agree on the 0 stars there. On the good transition because the next card is 0 to hero. 2 ink, you have a song you can use to you count the number of characters on board and pay that much less ink for your next character. I would treat it as a just in time from the set 1, which in my opinion isn't really good. You go card advantage -1 on this card. You can have scenarios in which you, because of this card, can play a higher cost card, but this isn't really consistent for me, not enough. And for an uninkable, I would put it at 1 star.
Yeah, this is one of the cards where my mind just goes to, let's see how it does. Like I want to try it out.
Yeah.
See if there's something for it. I don't see anything for it, but there could be something for it. So I'm gonna put it as a 1 with like a little tag of like, maybe.
I like that. Yeah, that's really it fits the card from 0 to hero, so it can redeem itself later on.
Yeah,
in the set.
because you could go something like 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, turn 4, your 2 drop sing 0 to hero, and you're able to play a 7 cost card.
Yeah.
So like that could be really good. You'd have to build just the right deck for it though. This next card though, Dragon Gem, 3 cost, is uninkable. Bring back to life, exert, and pay 3 ink. Return a character card with support from your discard to your hand. No cards from Ryan the Last Dragon have support. This is a flavor fail.
Yeah.
This is a flavor fail. It's also a bad card. It's a 0 for me. All the cards with support are subpar already, except Happy. But you aren't going to put Dragon Gem in the deck to bring back Happy.
You won't be happy after that, no.
You won't be. Yeah, you won't be happy about that.
I agree at 0 stars.
It's a 0.
Yeah.
And so is this next one, Sleepy's Flute.
Absolutely.
2 cost, uninkable. Exert. If you play a song this turn, gain 1 lore. You're going to have hardly any songs. You're not going to fill this deck with a better card. 0.
Yeah, I agree. This card is a 0 for me too. It has no real usage. Thank you for watching part 1 of the Lorcana Chapter 2 draft review. In case you enjoyed it, make sure to show it with a like and a channel subscription. Also, if you enjoy Lorcana Limited content, make sure to check out Knife's channels listed here below. And part 2 with Knife will be uploaded tomorrow and will focus on all the Amethyst cards. Until then, see you and goodbye.